Hello. Today I wanted to talk to you about phishing emails. Phishing emails is something that if you have an email account, you probably get millions of these a day. Well, maybe not millions, but they're certainly very popular scamming type email, obviously trying to use social engineering to trick you into either downloading malicious software or giving up your credentials or even just your name and address so they can impersonate you in some way. So these are quite pervasive emails. We want to make sure that we know how to recognize them when they turn up so we don't get caught by them. Now, if you have Office 365 Defender or ATP, or there's a variety of other email spam tools that you can get that will block these, then I'd highly recommend getting them. But even when you have those, sometimes these emails slip through into your inbox. So it's still a good idea to make sure you know how to recognize one when that comes in. So I've collected up over the last couple of weeks a few emails that have come into my junk mail. So these haven't come into our inbox, but they have been collected up by Outlook into our junk. So I thought I'd just walk you through a few of them and just show you some easy ways to quickly identify whether it's a scam or whether it's a genuine email or not. So one of the easiest ways you can identify a scam email, for instance, in this one, this is you have received a voice message. You can see up the top here who it's from. So sometimes they will obscure the email address that it's come from, but in this case, they haven't. They've said that it's come from Connie@strictlyvc.com. Now, if you're getting a voicemail from Microsoft, it's hardly going to come from Connie@strictlyvc.com. It's more likely to come from a Microsoft.com domain name. So that's your first clue. Although you might be tricked by that, you can see here in the remainder of the link, if I can get that to go away, you can see it says on Microsoft.com. Now that is actually a genuine Microsoft domain, the on Microsoft.com domain. It's used for Office 365 and Microsoft 365 tenancies. So you might think, well, maybe, but there's a few other clues. The other clue that you can look at is this very strange Microsoft coloring. Obviously, these are the sort of the old Microsoft colors that they used to use, but not really in this format. This is a very strange format. Looks like they've actually put a table into this email and it's stretched the table across the email message, and that's not how Microsoft had it in a square. And also you can see the Microsoft logo itself is just text embedded into the email. It's not a picture. Now Microsoft are a big company. Big companies tend to be very, very fussy about their branding and how it looks, and this looks pretty amateurish. The other thing that's a bit of a giveaway is the strange kind of formatting with the word voice. Why has voice got a capital for a start? And what's with all these weird underlinings? So there's some pretty good indicators that there's something really weird going on. Now you also notice that there is an attachment to this one, and you might think, oh, yeah, that's looks a bit dodgy, that attachment. And it's always a good idea to be very wary of attachments, especially from Connie at Strictly VC or anyone else that you don't know their email address of. But in this particular case, the malware alert text document is a text document that Office 365 Defender puts on an email when it has found an email that has a malicious attachment. If it detects that the attachment is actually malicious, had some bad code in it or whatever, it will actually remove that attachment and replace it with this text. And it's always called malware alert text. So if you see one of those, you can be pretty safe with that one, but don't open it anyway. So a good rule of thumb is if you don't know where the attachments come from, don't open it. You don't know unless you absolutely need to. And if you absolutely need to, then call someone, call us. Ask for, if it's the sender, you think it's genuine, call the sender and ask them. It costs you nothing to call and ask, and these things are so common now that no one's going to sort of bat an eyelid if you ring and ask them and say, hey, look, did you send me this email? It's going to be received very well by most people. So we'll continue on. We'll go through these ones, a few different types that that I've gotten in just in the last week or so. Here's a shopping one. Now this one is an interesting one. It might actually be genuine, but it's not really likely to be genuine. And the reason why I say it could be genuine, but probably isn't, is that they have done a few things quite right. Like they've got name prints clothing, so it looks like a genuine email with a genuine header. It doesn't look weird in any way. And but the email address is a Gmail account. So most businesses have their own domain name. If they're genuine, they're taking their business seriously. They don't normally operate off a Gmail account, but there are still some that operate off a Gmail account. However, in this case, I don't know this person. I don't know this company. I've never seen it before. And if you scroll through the email, you see all of these t-shirts have my name on it. So they've done some kind of social engineering, so they know what my first name is. And in fact, if they've sent it to Victoria at Decision One, they absolutely know what my first name is. And so they're thinking they might be able to entice me with a t-shirt with my name on it and click on one of these links. Now, the other thing that makes it look not terribly bad, but a little bit bad, is the URLs that these t-shirts are pointing to. So if you ever want to know what a link points to, all you need to do is roll over onto the picture or the link or whatever it is you've got in front of you, a button, and the URL will come up and tell you what you're actually looking at. So in this case, this one is Mother Day gift. So it's not great grammar, .monster. So Mother's Day gifts .monster might be a genuine shop, and the 122 Victoria 1092 might be a product code. So that could potentially be genuine. They're also using HTTPS, so they're at least taking the security seriously, but the grammar's a bit weird. Why doesn't it say Mother's Day? Why is it Mother Day? There's too many red flags for this to be, and certainly in this case, Microsoft has identified it as being a phishing email. So we can be pretty confident if it's turned up in your junk email, then it's almost certainly junk in some way anyway. Right, here's another one from ASB. I quite like this one. This is quite well done. This is from a company called Kantar, and you'll notice that first off, the from is quite well done. ASB Customer Value Management Survey. That's the sort of thing a big company like ASB might include on their survey email. It's ASB at kantarsurvey-w.com. So that's not particularly weird. The -w is probably a little bit odd, but some have some extra letters and things in their domain name, so it's not completely out of the ordinary. The other thing that's done quite well in this is the yellow color. You'll see the yellow, sort of that orangey yellow that ASB uses, which is quite a specific color for them. The grammar is pretty good, and the overall, it looks pretty well put together. They've got a nice unsubscribe button at the bottom, but that's probably one of the first clues. Something going on with this is the unsubscribe button takes us to a sort of a weird looking URL with lots of letters and numbers. However, it does have at the end unsubscribe equals yes, which suggests that maybe it's actually going to unsubscribe you from something if you click it, though I wouldn't. So if we look at the rest of the links, this one's kantarnewzealand.com. So that's could be quite a genuine URL, and this one is genuinely pointing at the email it says it is, so that's the same as the one at the top. So there's some consistency there, and the start survey URL is also using this unusual URL that the unsubscribe button used down the bottom. So there's some consistencies in here, which is quite nice. It makes it quite well done. But the clues in here that this is a scam email is the urgency. The survey deadline is set to the 10th of December. Most phishing emails will have some kind of urgency in there because they want you to do it quickly. They don't want you to think about what it is that you're looking at. However, in this case, you kind of think, well, how a Kantar? Why isn't it ASB? And one of the easiest ways to sort of sort that out with ASB, and I'll have to just change my share screen. I'll show you is if we Google ASB survey. Oh, no, not that one. And you can see here's ASB. It's genuinely from the ASB website, asb.co.nz. Click in here and it will tell you what their surveys look like. So the brand survey gives customers the opportunity to give feedback. So this is how they're getting their customer feedback. And you can see they've very helpfully added a picture in here, and it looks nothing like the emails that we've received. And you'll also notice that there is absolutely no mention of Kantar. So that's a pretty good indication that that is a complete phishing email. So let's go back to Outlook. So we can cross that off a list of being genuine. So here's another one, which is quite a popular one, dating in your city, and just a big button that's the homepage. If you're getting unsolicited emails about dating, they are 100% phishing emails. Do not click on them. If you want to go dating, go on Tinder or somewhere like that. Definitely do not click on those email addresses. Here's a really popular one. I get heaps of these. I love these. These are fantastic. So this is from Central Bank. So as if there's a bank called Central Bank. I don't know, maybe there is a bank called Central Bank in the Lagos Island, Lagos. Maybe there is. It's highly unlikely. There certainly isn't one here in New Zealand, but this particular email is, well, they all offer you money. So let's see if I can find how much money they want to give me. They almost have millions and millions of lottery winnings. Oh, there are lottery winnings, inheritance. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Or compensate all scam victims the sum of 1.5 million. So that's not bad for a day's work. 1.5 million. So unless it's you've got a lotto ticket in your hand, you can pretty much ignore anything that's offering you $1.5 million. And in this case, your email address URLs are looking pretty. They're looking pretty good. cbn.com could well be a genuine email account, but it's, yeah, they're asking for here your full name, address, occupation, date of birth. I mean, why do they need all of that information? Well, they need that information because they would like to use that to impersonate you in some way. So that's where they're asking. So don't be replying to that email. Right, here's another one from Mr. Buffett, Mr. Warren Buffett. I find it's very sad that Mr. Warren Buffett, with all his money, cannot afford to pay for a domain name, which is really tragic. He has to use jamesmike11777@gmail.com. So that's a pretty good indicator. Even in his sign off, he calls himself a billionaire investor. So I think that's probably a little bit of a tragic story that poor old Mr. Buffett can't afford his own domain name. I mean, Buffett.com or something, anything. I don't know. He's probably got one. I don't know what it is. All right, moving along. So this is a good one for this time of year, just before Christmas. Packages on the way. If you have ordered something, more than likely the courier delivering your package does not know your email address, unless in fact you have signed up for this kind of service. I know some of them do offer it, but it's not going to come up and say Express. Certainly not services AG at Express Life. Was it liferung-ag.com? I mean, it couldn't get weirder in terms of a domain name. That's you know, it stands out pretty well just by looking at the email address that it's come from, that there's something really weird going on with that. And if we look at the URL that the confirm button takes us to, you can see it's actually, so sendgrid.net, that's actually a genuine company with a genuine mailer program, but that link will, as you can see, it's quite long, will almost certainly take you to somewhere else. It will bounce off this URL to somewhere else and you'll end up who knows where. If you want to know if your package is being delivered, maybe go directly to the website. Don't be relying on weird emails like this. Yeah, and at the very least, check your tracking numbers. They've provided us with a tracking number here. Now that's going to be absolute garbage. There's no way that's a genuine tracking number. So yeah, do your due diligence and check your documentation with theirs. Oh, here's another one. Long held payment related in line with the World Bank. And this one supposedly is from, who was it supposed to be from? The foreign banking division, I'm assuming, of the World Bank. And yet his URL on his email address is, now I assume Juan is a man, and I'm assuming this poor Grace, whoever Grace is a woman, but anyway, so he's got Grace as his email address. Maybe it's not a name, maybe it's just, you know, go with Grace. Who would know? Anyway, grace@mail.texland.com.tw is quite an unusual domain name for a bank. Shouldn't it be worldbank.com or something that seems a little bit more relevant to what they're talking to here? Also, the clue is in how much money they want to give us. It's certainly not $42.37. Let's see. How much money they're going to give us? Can't see it. 4,000 lucky people around the world are going to receive it, whatever it is. Oh, and here it's right at the top, 5.5 million. So that's lucky. So, but I'm only going to get a share of that. So that's a little bit sad. But anyway, it's certainly nice. And again, here they've used the same format. You can see they're asking for address, age, sex, nationality, all in a bid to use that to impersonate you at a later stage. So they're well and truly doing their best to get your details. Right, let's move on. Here's another one. It's another popular one. E-faxes. E-faxes aren't particularly popular anymore, but if you're in an industry like medical industry still uses faxes quite a bit, then e-faxes might be part of your life, but probably you're going to recognize them. It's not going to be some weird e-fax like this. And if you're getting an e-fax like this and you think it's genuine, it's not. You would, if someone was going to send you an e-fax, they would just send you an email. They do not need to send you a fax. It's just, yeah, unless you're expecting it, it's not genuine. And if you are expecting it, you're gonna know what the format is, and it won't be this one. So move on. Right, here's the last one. This one is a very, very popular one, and this is the one that catches people out the most. This one says, I won't go through it in detail, but it says that basically I've been quite a naughty girl. They've caught me doing things on my camera, on my PC, on my laptop. They've hacked into my PC, and they've got all this footage of me doing naughty things, and they're going to reveal it to all my friends. And all my friends were relatives and even my colleagues. However, lucky for us, there's a way out of it. All we need to do is transfer $1,750 US dollars, and then they'll keep their promise and they'll not release this into the public. Now, if you do not get caught out by this, they do not have any footage of you. They've not logged into your machine. This is not how they work. All they want to do is they want to scare you, and with a bit of shame and a bit of fear, and get some money out of you. And it's really, really successful. This is one of the ones that's really, really successful. And I can show you how successful. One of the interesting things that they've done in here is they haven't required you to email back and say, yes, okay, just tell me where to put the money. They've given you the wallet right off the bat. So here's the Bitcoin wallet that they want you to put your $1,750 into. So what we can do, which we will do now, is we will go and have a wee look at this wallet. So the one thing about Bitcoin is that you can go and actually have a look at the wallets. They're all public. All public facing the wallets. You can see transactions that have gone in and out. You can see how much is in a particular wallet. You can't see who who owns the wallet, and you can't do anything with the wallet, but you can look at the wallet. So if we have a look at this blockchain explorer, so we go to blockchain.com, and we'll put in the wallet key. And here it's asking us if we want to look at the Bitcoin or the Bitcoin Cash. So we'll have a look at the Bitcoin because that's what the scammers asked us for. And you can see in here, it tells us that the total received into this wallet with 11 transactions is 0.2 of a Bitcoin. Now, at the moment, Bitcoin is worth the fortunes, like $80,000 a Bitcoin. So that is a really significant amount. And you can see in here, so there are 11 transactions. That means 11 people have been called out by this. And now let's see, that is, so that's the 8th. That was yesterday, 8th of December. Let's see if we've got, that goes back to the 7th. Let's see how long this wallet has been open for. So we've got the first transaction that's gone in here was on the 5th of December. So that was 4 days. They have managed to trick 11 people into putting a total of 0.28 Bitcoin into this wallet. So if we have a wee look at a calculator, it should tell us, let's see what there go, 74,000 New Zealand dollars as of today. And if we have a wee look, you can see that this amount of Bitcoin in this wallet is worth $20,000. So in what's that, 5 days, they have made 20 grand just by sending out this email. So this is solely the reason for sending out these kind of emails. So don't be fooled by it. Don't get caught out. Just ignore it and move on. It's nothing to do with you. It's all about getting money into that Bitcoin wallet and then sailing off into the sunset. I'm happy with the 20K for 4 days. It's quite an astounding payout. So that's why they do it. It's their only reason. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what to look out for when you receive a phishing email. If you have any questions, obviously you can give us a call. If you've got any doubts or worries, that's what we're here for. Don't hesitate to give us a call. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.